What would someone have to do for you to not want their artwork on campus?
Someone that, I don't know, did a massacre or something like that.
Like terrorists?
Yeah.
Well, these people are.
I meant like big terrorists, not like you know, one person killing 3 people.
That interviewer is our next guest, who went talking to students and faculty amid a new exhibit at New York's John Jay College, which is featuring art created by Guantanamo Bay prisoners. Cabot Phillips is the media director for campusreform.org. All right, were you surprised by anything you heard? Because my understanding, this is the John Jay College of Criminal Justice or something like that, right?
I was shocked, but sadly I was not surprised. Given what we've seen around the country, students these days, above all else, and in this case above criminal justice, they're taught that they can't offend anyone. They have to be tolerant to the death. And in this case, that tolerance means you can't even condemn radical terrorists. These are not just your run-of-the-mill, criminals whose art is being displayed on campus. One of these men was Osama bin Laden's personal bodyguard for years. Another man was accused of funneling millions of dollars to al-Qaeda in the months ahead of 9/11. And yet these students are so concerned with not seeming intolerant that they won't even stand up at a school of criminal justice to say, no, at a certain point, you can't give a platform to people like terrorists. And let's remember, too, this is a public school, so there's taxpayer money that is helping promote the work of these horrible men.
Well, and listen, they stand accused. Some of them have never gone to trial, and they're sitting there in Guantanamo Bay. But the Pentagon, I know, is asking questions saying they can government property. They want to know like how this was funded and put together. They're also asking where the money is going if some of this stuff is sold, because I understand some of it is for sale. With all that in mind, I understand that you talked to a faculty member about this, and I was a little surprised by what she had to say. We want to play that.
I know it's difficult as someone from New York to embrace art from anyone that might have harmed New York, but at the same time, I think New Yorkers also need to sort of let it go.
Let what go, Cabot?
I think this just shows, look, a lot of college students, they were not old enough to remember when 9/11 happened. And so that puts extra importance and pressure on professors and administrators to teach students about the history of 9/11 and why it's so important to this day to remain vigilant in fighting back against terrorism. And actions like this, it's a revisionist form of history being taught, and it's desensitizing students to the importance of standing firm against radical Islamic terror in the name of political correctness. And this professor, this faculty member here was very proud to point out, too, the #1 point of John Jay College, she said, was tolerance. Not criminal justice, not education, it was tolerance. And when it comes at the price of ignoring real threats that face our country, it's a dangerous point indeed.
I'm not sure what you do with a degree of like a BS intolerance. I don't know. But we'll have to see, because it seems like a lot of kids out there are getting them these days. All right, Cabot Phillips of Campus Reform, always good to see you. Keep us updated on what you're working on.
Absolutely.
All right, we are very